Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the Single Market Program.
EAEU, 3 years later. Central Asian accents in the world tourism. Catalyzers of the growth in the chemical industry. How to work smartly, IDC experience. Hello, this is Pavel Kokdyshev, and you are watching the Single Market Program. The world of the Eurasian integration is currently becoming different, more energetic, mobile, open. Generally speaking, 3 years from the day of starting this global project in historical terms is not a long period. But we already can talk about the intermediate results and trends of the integration process. And in this regard, the last year of 2017 and the next 2018 is the very boundary behind which you can see the new horizons. It seems like this was just yesterday, the signature of a historical document on setting up the EAEU. Astana, 29 мая 2014 года. New addition to the Eurasian Economic Union right before its launch.
Мы хорошо осознаем ту особую ответственность, которую берем на себя первыми, присоединяясь к договору.
Starting the integration process and outlining potential threats. It is good that we're working together because within the single economic space, goods coming to Kazakhstan from Southeast Asia can also easily come both to Russia and Belarus. Internal economic problems and worsening of the external background. The situation in the world economy is contradictory. The pressure of sanctions has an impact. Mutual claims and first disappointments of unfulfilled expectations. A strong barrier is the problem with the return of VAT for the goods supplied to Kazakhstan from Russia. Expectations of our manufacturers that the customs union would allow for the free exports of their products to Russia on the same conditions have not come true. The first 2 years were the most difficult for a not strong enough organism, but at the same time this interim stage gave the new alliance an opportunity to see the realities without illusions. The third year since the EAEU launch under the numerology rules promised to bring some dividends, and those hopes did come true. We have understood that the economic union was a viable association because it could function even in the hard economic conditions, and we got an additional integration effect. Judging by the outcomes, the 2017 year pretends to enter the history of the Eurasian integration as the year that brought good news. There was an increase in production in the industrial sector by 3.6%, in agriculture by 1.5%. The volume of mutual trade has grown by more than 25%, and of freight and passenger transportation by 7%. By the way, according to experts, exactly the transport and logistics infrastructure development projects can give a good impetus to the development of business and to the growth of volumes of exports within the EAEU market and beyond. Business logistics companies start looking at this niche in a new way, start adjusting to it. For example, very serious work is carried out with regards to the exports of foodstuff to China. Accordingly, logistical solutions are needed. Logistical hubs with refrigerating capacity are needed. Refrigerated wagons are needed. The first real experience of imposition of penal sanctions and the conditions of integration was demonstrated within the framework of anti-dumping investigations. In particular, 2017 penalties were imposed on Russian companies Novolipetsk Metallurgical Plant and Vizstal Enterprise for the violation of general rules of competition. The Eurasian Economic Commission has made a verdict in favor of a Kazakhstani enterprise, Kentau Transformer Plant. The Commission has been working on this continuously but jointly with participant countries because, as you know, the EAEU is based on the consensus principle. A lot of work was done to lift barriers preventing trade. The results of this work was a detailed report, Barriers, Exemptions and Restrictions of the Eurasian Economic Union, which became a framework for the Eurasian Economic Commission to make changes agreed upon with all parties concerned. In all, 12 barriers have been lifted in 2017 and a shared understanding has been found for 60. But there are still barriers which have to be eliminated. To have no barriers in the future, we need to implement an agreed policy. Because if we have no agreed policy, new barriers will appear tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And from this point of view, we must gradually move the accent exactly to the sphere. The start of functioning of a single pharmaceutical market is also counted by experts as the integration breakthrough of 2017. We definitely foresee that our market will expand. This expanded market will bring competition too. Maybe prices of medicines in our market will also decrease. The year of 2018 may become a year when the effect of centripetal forces will really manifest itself for the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union. Because from the 1st of January of the new year, the EAEU Customs Code has come into force. The adoption of the Customs Code is a step which is designed to bring out a system of customs regulation and control to the level of world models and to minimize cost when crossing the customs border for bona fide entrepreneurs. It includes such advantages as minimization of document circulation, including through the digital format introduction, reduction of the terms of customs procedures, use of the one-stop shop mechanism. All these novels should give acceleration to the integration and an opportunity to work even more efficiently to business communities. Great travelers Marco Polo, Rubrak, Karpin called this region one of the greatest cultural and spiritual centers of the world civilization. And historical and geographical attractions of Central Asia are still of interest for many foreign tourists. What can you see here and what are the region's plans for the development of the profile sphere? Our observer, Alexander Goliev, will tell us.
Начнем обзор с Узбекистана. Как показал 2017 год.
Let's start with Uzbekistan. As 2017 has proved, the tourism sector of this country could be more effective, even in comparison with the traditional branches of the economy. For example, last year tourists who visited Samarkand contributed to the budget 10 times more than cotton-growing farms in the entire Samarkand region. Many landmark sites of the region are located here: Bibi Khanum Mosque, Shahi Zinda Memorial Complex, and Gur Emir Mausoleum, which became the last refuge of Great Timur and his descendants. By the way, the government of Uzbekistan plans to turn the ancient city into a tourist zone, Samarkand City. Modern infrastructure will be created in Samarkand within this large-scale project: hotels, shopping, and entertainment centers. Turkmenistan, the most ancient city in Central Asia, Merv is located here. It was erected well before our era in the period of the Margian civilization. Later, Merv became one of the centers of the powerful Parthia, and the traces of the Parthian kingdom capital can be seen in the ancient city of Nisa. As for the modern facilities, guests of Turkmenistan can be attracted by the national tourist zone Avaza, which is an international resort center.
Таджикистан. Здесь перед взором туриста предстоит руины двух некогда.
Tajikistan. The ruins of two once majestic fortresses appear here before the eyes of a tourist. Gisar, its age is more than 2,500 years, and Hojend, the history of which is associated with the period of struggle with Genghis Khan. In addition, tourists for sure will want to visit the ancient settlement of Sarazm. This historical monument, dating back to the 4th to the 2nd century BC, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Кыргызстан. Здесь магнитом притяжения туристов.
Kyrgyzstan. Here the high-altitude Lake Issyk serves as a magnet for tourists, and the main tourist flows come here from Kazakhstan and Russia. But in 2018, the number of tourists arriving from neighboring Uzbekistan may increase. In any case, issues of launching charter flights that will transport tourists in the summer are being currently worked over already. By the way, Kyrgyzstan became the first country in Central Asia to receive the status of full membership in the IFMGA, the International Association of Mountain Guides, in December 2017.
Горных гидов. Казахстан в 2017.
Kazakhstan. In 2017, the Republic received a record number of foreign tourists, 5,800,000 people. An impulse for such growth was Expo 2017 exhibition. The largest numbers of tourists arrived from among the CIS countries, from Russia, the European Union, from Germany, and among the Asian regions from China. However, when the exhibition is finished, the territory of Expo did not lose its attraction for tourists. From November 2017, the Expo tourist zone has been functioning. Its sites include Nur Alam Pavilion with the Museum of the Future, Zone of the Best Practices, Hall of Energy, and Art Center.
Арт-центр. Основные тренды развития.
The main trends of tourist development are seen through the plans of the new national company, Kazakh Tourism, which currently focuses on the creation of 6 regional tourist clusters: Astana, the geopolitical crossroads of cultures; South Kazakhstan, the heart of the Great Silk Road; North Kazakhstan, unity of nature and the nomadic culture; East Kazakhstan, the pearl of Altai; West Kazakhstan, the Caspian Gates; and finally, Almaty, a free cultural zone.
И вместо резюме. Туристический потенциал Центральной Азии весьма высок.
The tourist potential of Central Asia is very high, though there is a weak link, the lack of strategy for positioning the region as a single cultural and tourist space. Foreign tourists would rather visit several Central Asian countries for one trip at once. The year of 2018 will become the beginning of implementation of joint tourist projects. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan have signed agreements on cooperation within the framework of the global tourist project, Modern Silk Road. This is it from me. Alexander Galiev was with you.
Галиев.
Chemical industry is one of the largest suppliers of raw materials for many sectors of the Kazakhstani economy. Inter alia for machinery building, construction sector, light industry and agricultural complex. Today, 2 special economic zones, Pavlodar and Taraz Chemical Park, are working in the Republic within the sectoral program of development. Oleg Boldarev explored what their projects were. The core of the Taraz chemical plant is Kazphosphate Company, the largest chemical producer in Kazakhstan. Kazphosphate is a multidisciplinary complex that deals with geological exploration, mining, and processing of phosphate rock and production of export-oriented products. Currently, Kazphosphate consolidates 7 branches. These are 2 mining and processing complexes in Zhanatas and Karatau, New Jambul phosphorus plant located in Taraz, mineral fertilizers plant, the railway transportation complex is here, and 2 branches in Stepnogorsk town and in the city of Shymkent. The share of this company in the total volume of chemical production in the Republic is over 30%. Its assortment includes yellow phosphorus, amorphos, superphosphate, tricalcium phosphate, and other chemical products. In 2016, the company has completed the construction of the first line of wet process phosphoric acid production. Its capacity is 220,000 tons of the basal substance. This is phosphoric anhydride. This will give us an opportunity of increasing the production of phosphate fertilizers 3-fold. Another participant of the Taraz chemical plant is a Russian company, Eurochem. It started phosphate rock mining in the Jambul region in 2014. In parallel with this direction, Eurochem is implementing a project for the construction of 2 complexes, mining and chemical ones.
Этот проект состоит из 3 этапов.
The project consists of 3 stages. The first stage is the construction of a mining complex in the Zhanatas town, the start of mining of phosphate rock in Aral Tobe, and the infrastructure development of industrial sites.
И обустройство промышленных площадок.
Currently, the Russian investor is already opening up the second stage, which will last until 2019, and it plans to implement the third stage from 2019 through 2023. Upon its completion, the company will master the full production cycle, starting from mining the raw materials and finishing with output of added value products. In addition to the Taraz chemical plant, the special economic zone Pavlodar has been operating in the northeast of the Republic since 2011.
Объем инвестиций, которые мы уже привлекли, это где-то порядка 40.
We have already attracted somewhat around 43.6 billion tenge, and infrastructure investments are about 2.9 billion tenge. That is, we now consider that for 1 tenge invested by the state, 15 tenge is invested by investors. In our plans up to 2020, we aim to double this ratio up to 17.5 tenge.
2020 года это соотношение до 17,5 тенге.
Currently, 5 large enterprises operate on the territory of the Fez Pavlodar. All of them were set up at the account of Kazakhstani investments. 4 of them are within the chemical cluster, the core of which is the caustic plant. This enterprise produces hydrochloric acid, chlorine, caustic soda, and sodium hypochlorite. These products are supplied not only to the market of Kazakhstan, but also to Russia. Russian importers include such industry giants as Rosneft Oil Company, Gazpromneft, Ilim Industrial Group, and others. Part of the products from the caustic plant goes to the enterprise Agrochem Progress, which is also located within the Special Economic Zone. This production specializes in the output of preparations for the protection of plants from weeds and pests. We have a wide range of preparations. This includes both glyphosate-containing preparations and wide-spectrum insecticides. This range also includes ethers. According to the forecast of the Ministry of Industry and Development of Kazakhstan, in 7 years, the Republic will give a qualitatively new chemical industry, a powerful, efficient, competitive one. And the Profile enterprise will get an additional impetus for the output of products targeted at export markets. Oleg Boldarev, Bakhidjan Bakhriev, especially for the single market. Capital is not only raw materials, fixed assets, and finance. As the experience of countries that set the tone for a technology shows, human resources are a reliable source of wealth today. In Kazakhstan, this approach has recently begun to be used more actively. On the one hand, special attention is paid to training personnel for an innovative economy. On the other, there are companies that, when performing export orders, successfully work in the field of smart technologies. IDC Company appeared on the market of smart technologies of Kazakhstan in 2013. It specializes in such areas as software development, systems integration, visualization of display systems, creation of security systems, and production of information kiosks. By the way, the IDC abbreviation, which is put in the name of the company, was formed exactly from the description of the Info Kiosk, Interactive Digital Complex. Here, various IT items are produced turnkey, including terminals, electronic boards, tables and desks, information displays, and special warning devices.
Этот прибор называется тревожная кнопка.
This device is called an alarm button. It was developed for, roughly speaking, if someone is stealing something, it allows to report this to the law enforcement bodies. It's a security measure.
Сообщает внутренним органам. Это меры безопасности.
The uniqueness of this enterprise is in their ability to withstand the balance between technological and commercial interest. Before opening his production, Vladimir Vorobiyov conducted monitoring of the market of IT products. Studies have shown that at that time no one in Kazakhstan was engaged in the production of their own sensory equipment, and therefore this niche was free. It was possible to find a place under the sun relying on 2 components. The main thing was their own high-tech IT developments and reliable partners, from whom quality components could be purchased.
Это Samsung по дисплеям, Intel по компьютерам, скажем так, китайские поставщики есть.
These are Samsung for displays, Intel for computers, Chinese suppliers, there is no way around them, for infrared equipment. Italian suppliers for printers and cash acceptors. There are Russian suppliers. We purchase raw materials such as glass, metal, and conductors both from local and foreign suppliers. The main thing is people, the very idea. Roughly speaking, we make a clever device out of a piece of metal.
Закупаем тоже. Либо, кстати, у наших местных производителей есть, либо берем, опять-таки, с России за границей.
There are several partner suppliers of components. Nevertheless, the enterprise manages to maintain a rather high level of Kazakhstani content, up to 70%. At the same time, the products manufactured are certified and optimal in terms of value for money. Therefore, during the tender, which determined would be the supplier of profile equipment for the International Exhibition Expo 2017, the choice was made in favor of the IDC Group. The products of this enterprise are today in demand not only in Kazakhstan but also in Russia, which is difficult to surprise with smart technologies. Importers include prestigious universities such as the Moscow State University, the People's Friendship University of Russia, and the Moscow-based oncological clinic named after Dima Rogachev, for which the sensor classrooms were developed. This is a large institution for children with oncological diseases, and there is a school there, at the clinic where patients are studying. For they also have the right to education, but cannot attend the regular school because of their illness. The products of this enterprise are today in demand not only in Kazakhstan but also in Russia, which is difficult to surprise with smart technologies. Importers include prestigious universities such as the Moscow State University, the People's Friendship University of Russia, and the Moscow-based oncological clinic named after Dima Rogachev, for which the sensor classrooms were developed. This is it for today. Pavel Koktashev was with you. To remind you, you can watch all our programs at www.kazakh-tv.kz. See you again in a single market.